AITA for reminding my husband's father and stepmother that legally my husband isn't their son anymore. AITA. My husband lost his mom when he was 4.5 years old. She was hit by a drunk driver and died instantly. At the time of her death, she was pregnant and my husband's sibling died too. His dad remarried when he was 6, and a year later my husband was legally adopted by his stepmother. This wasn't something they discussed with my husband or asked for his feelings on. It was just something that they did, and it had the full support of the adult members of his dad's family who felt that all children needed a mother and that he should be raised by her if something were to happen to his dad. There was bad blood between his mom and dad's family even before the two married. He never knew why, and still doesn't. His mom's family has no idea, and neither do cousins on his dad's side. The adoption is something my husband always resented, and he never bonded with his stepmother. He never called her mom or sought out her comfort or love. He never loved her back either. As a kid, he was a runaway a couple of times, and when he was on the cusp of turning 17, he left and moved in with a maternal uncle for a few months before moving to his grandparents' house. Once he was with them, he asked for an adult adoption, which they agreed to. His father and stepmother swore they were done with him after this, but they always expected him to come crawling back begging for them to forgive him and love him. But he never has. He's had very minimal contact with them, and only because he's close to a few cousins on that side. They weren't invited to our wedding and were never notified when we started having kids. Our kids don't even know who they are, even though they have seen them at a distance twice. We recently attended a birthday party for 2 of his cousins' children, and his father and stepmother approached me and tried to get me on their side to make a husband talk to them, but I shut them down. Then they told me I was denying them a relationship with their grandchildren, and that my husband is their son, and I should be encouraging the relationship between everybody. I reminded them that legally he isn't their son anymore, and I told my husband they wouldn't leave me alone. We tried harder to keep our distance because they were pissed, but the two would not stop approaching me/us with their anger at my choice of words. So we told his cousin who was hosting that we were leaving, and then the cousin kicked them out too. It started a fight between the cousins on my husband's side and the rest of the family, and I was blamed. One of my husband's paternal aunts used a second Facebook account that she uses for her MLM crap, and she told him that I had no right to be so rude to my feel and MIL, and it was insulting to rub his petty choice in their face. My husband blocked her second account and went back to it, but even the cousins are getting crap over what I said. So AITA for saying what I did to them? NTA. You're standing up for your husband's feelings and decisions, which is what a good spouse should do. Their legal ties don't change the emotional reality. NTA incredibly presumptuous of them to think you would side against your actual husband in solidarity with people you have no real relationship with. NTA. AHs never react well to being called out for their assholery. Block them and live your life. Kudos for standing up for your husband, which is what a wife should do. Silence is the best response to any attempts to contact you. It's gray rock time. People like your husband's sperm donor and his wife are always so shocked when they are held accountable for their reprehensible actions. They tried to eradicate your husband's mother from his life, and they failed, and they need to take the loss and move on. I'm really glad that your husband has his maternal family to lean on and some of his cousins. I would start putting up boundaries with people and say if they keep reaching out to you, you're going to consider it harassment, and let the police know. Go nuclear, go scorched. If people don't respect your boundaries, you have to get their attention a different way. That creepy aunt, I would report her to her MLM. And yeah, they lost the right to have family relations with him the moment they lost parental rights over him. Therefore, they can't do or demand anything. You did a good job standing up for your husband. NTA, your husband's bio dad and his wife did not give your husband a choice when he was a minor. That move is not too different from trying to erase his mom. His bio dad's family sounds cold. If anything happened to dad, stepmom will have to step up, so adoption is good. The reason for the rift is not specified. He can hate them if he wants, and maybe there is a valid reason for it, but it's not clear from what you've written here. The father has grandkids he is not permitted to know, so there is harm here. So if there's no real reason for it, then YTA, and your husband is YTA. Isn't this a repost of a story from last week that was written from the husband's perspective? NTA. But I have to wonder how bad a stepmother has to be that a 6-year-old, who can't remember his mom all that clearly, would object to calling her mom and resent being adopted by her. I guess his father and stepmother pushed too hard, but also the mother's family encouraged him not to accept a substitute mother.